The whole process of meditation is just scientific, and it amounts to experiencing the subtler glories of nature and ultimately experiencing the glory of the omnipresence. Because the mind is always engaged experiencing through the senses, it is experiencing only the gross field of nature, experiencing the gross field of nature as if the capacity of the mind has become blunt. Give it to experience some subtler field of nature and the capacity of the mind to experience will be increase. This is the way of purification of mind. This is the way of sharpening the mind. This is the way of unfolding all the latent faculties hidden in the ocean of mind. This is just the whole field of subtle nature is the field of mind. And the whole field of mind is just the ocean of mind. Conscious mind and the subconscious mind and supraconscious mind and ultimately the pure consciousness. As you throw the mind to experience subtler phases of your medium, you fathom the deeper levels of consciousness and ultimately come to the pure consciousness. This whole field is the whole field of psychology. But so unfortunately the present psychology is just swimming on the surface of the ocean of mind. It is the process of meditation. It is the process of meditation that leads the mind to experience greater charm at every step, and then leads the mind to fathom all the deeper levels of subconscious mind, ultimately transcending the limit of mind, individual. Transcending the limit of individual mind, come on to the field of the cosmic mind, universal mind. Cosmic mind, universal mind is the cosmic consciousness, and that is omnipresent, its nature is bliss. Devoid of the practice of meditation, life becomes a struggle. If you want a man should become a good swimmer on the surface of water, it is necessary for him to be taught taking a dive. When he goes deep into the water, then he swims well on the surface. If you experience greater glories of life within, and with that great happiness, you swim on the surface of life much better. Inner levels of the ocean of mind have to be contacted. Subconscious levels of the mind have to be fathomed, and then all the faculties that are latent, all the powers that are, all the capacities that are latent will come on the surface. It is to teach the people a direct method of taking a dive within and unfolding all the latent faculties and experiencing that great bliss in life, and being that when the mind comes out, it comes out full with energy, full with peace, full with happiness, and then with that great energy, vigor, peace and happiness, enjoy the world much better. The purpose of taking a dive within is to go to the depths of the sea and to gather the pearls there and bring the pearls out to enjoy the value on the surface. We go to within and take a dive and reach the realms of bliss and let the mind be submerged with it, let the mind be it, let the mind soak the bliss in itself as the sponge soaked in it, and then come full with that great bliss, with greatest satisfaction. Enjoy the world. So, one way is the march to the divine, one way is the march to the bliss, the other way is the march of the bliss to the world. We go to the divine and bring the divine out to the world, and then the world becomes divine. And then with this diving, all the faculties of the mind develop. And with these developed faculties of mind, you enjoy the world better. Everywhere will be success. Otherwise, life is just limited. Capacities of life are just limited, and when it is limited, nothing satisfies it, then the life becomes a struggle, and they begin to define life is a struggle. Whereas the truth is that life is bliss. Devoid of the technique of living. Now this is the technique of living. Technique of living is just to take a dive into bliss. Make the mind blissful, be blissful and come out with bliss. And then the life is bliss. Otherwise, if you are not able to contact the chamber of happiness, then all things disturbing, because nothing of the outside world will be able to satisfy a man. Nothing is so fascinating, so charming as to satisfy the thirst of happiness of the mind. Mind is thirsty of great happiness, wandering here and there, just of thirsty. And you are told that the mind is a monkey and the mind is so bad and it is not concentrated and all. I completely differ. I reject this idea that mind is a monkey. Mind is the king of kings. Everybody's mind is the king of kings. To call it a monkey is a bad thing. Any respectable man needs a proper place to sit. If a king is found walking here and there, it's wrong to conclude that it is the nature of the king to wander. Wandering is not the nature of the king. Poor fellow is not getting proper place to sit. How can he sit? Mind needs a laudable place, a charming place, a place of beauty, a place of joy, and then it will be resting. India, nothing of the world is able to give that great joy which will satisfy. Nothing of the outside glory is the proper seat to the mind, and that's why it goes from this to this, from this to this, and from this to this. And then you feel that you need variety, and variety gives peace. It's a wrong idea. It's not the variety that gives peace. It is the inefficiency of glory. The glory is less, and that's why the mind becomes a football of everything, kicked from place to place, from place to place. A thirsty man, not finding water anywhere, begins to taste dewdrops deposited on green grass, from drop to drop, from drop to drop, from drop to drop. Why? Only because no drop is able to satisfy it. He is attracted to the other drop, not because the glory of the drop is attracting him, but because the misery of the first drop repels him. If the first drop is able to satisfy the mind, then it won't go to the second drop. So it's not due to the glory of the second drop that he is attracted towards that. It is the kick that he receives from the first drop. Misery of the first drop repels him, and he is compelled to go to the second drop. Again it repels, again it repels. So the mind is allowed to this, to this, to this, to this, to this, not because the glory is great there, but because the misery was found greater in the first. This is life. Mind is going, mind is wandering, mind is wandering. It's wandering only to settle down somewhere in bliss. It's wrong to conclude that it is the nature of the mind to wander. It is wandering only out of compulsion. It is wandering. What else could it do except wandering? It is not, the nature of the mind is not wandering. It is wandering out of compulsion, not finding any place, any proper seat to sit. And it is wandering in wandering to settle down somewhere in bliss. The very principle is wrong. And when they begin to say that the mind is wandering, then the mind is wandering, and then control the mind, then control. Then what to do controlling the mind? Mind cannot be controlled on anything that is not charming. Mind cannot be controlled on anything that is not 100% bliss. How can it? A thirsty man, how can he be controlled unless he is given water to satisfy him? Enough water to satisfy and he is controlled. You run to catch a dog and he runs and he runs and he runs. The faster you run, the faster it runs. You reach near it and it bites. It is difficult to control the dog. The best means is just a few bits on the door and the dog doesn't go. Try to satisfy the dog. Satisfying it, you get all advantages of controlling without any stronger means to control. Here is the technique of controlling the dog. To run after it is only a bad mind, a bad way of controlling the dog, to run after it. To try to control the mind without providing any means of greater happiness is a bad technique to control. It's a bad manner to control. It's no way to control, and it cannot be controlled.